Welcome to the Mac Frost Entertainment Super Bowl special. Probably not very special. Super Bowl is a huge thing, it happens every single year. I always watch it because I really enjoy the spectacle. I'm not into American football. The game itself is usually pretty entertaining. 2017 Super Bowl, it's going to be Patriots versus the Falcons. They have played before so many times. I've actually seen them in the Super Bowl against each other. Last time was in, I believe, 2013. Turns out it's 7-6 to the Patriots in overall victories, so I guess they're the favourites. But I'm betting on the Falcons, putting that here. Write in the comments below who you think is going to win, unless it's afterwards, and then tell me that I was wrong. When is the Super Bowl? The Super Bowl is on Sunday night. It will be airing at 11:30 UK time. You can watch it on iPlayer and Sky Sports and probably other places. But what sucks is we don't get all the American commercials, because that's one of the big things about the Super Bowl is the commercials. In fact, I think, say, over 100 people watch it every year. That's quite a few. Over 100 million people watch it every year now, and I think probably about 50% of those are people who are watching for the commercials and the halftime show. Okay, a little bit of very brief Super Bowl history. What is the Super Bowl? The Super Bowl is the top team from the AFC and the NFC. That's the two separate conferences that make up the NFL as a whole. But it originally started as the AFL versus the NFL. They were the two rival leagues, and basically the NFL was buying out the AFL in 1967, and before the merger actually happened, to get people with the idea, they started putting on the top two teams to play each other, and by 1970 that was getting pretty big. Nowadays, biggest sporting event that happens. Yeah, there you go, that's the Super Bowl. Let's jump into the first section. This is the MFE Super Bowl special, Super Bowl fact or fiction, with our special guest JT, who you may know from such MFE episodes as the Amsterdam Project and the Amsterdam Project Part 2. How are you doing today, JT?
We're rocking and rolling, mate.
We're rocking and rolling. Okay, so first of all, the rules of Super Bowl fact or fiction. I have 6 different Super Bowl facts or fictions prepared. I'm not going to disclose how many of each there are, and I'm going to tell them to you, and you have to guess if they are fact or they are fiction. So the rules are that it's not like a trick question. It's not like I'm going to say, in 1986, this thing happened, and you're going to go, true, and I'm going to go, no, it happened in 1987. It's not like that. They're either entirely made up or they're entirely true. So,
got you.
Alright, and then secondly, you're not really allowed to ask questions. And that's pretty much the rules. Question number 1. It all begins, of course, with the very first Super Bowl that ever happened in 1967. Did they tape over the footage from the very first Super Bowl? And let me give you a bit of clarification on this. When it happened, but no one really watched it. They say only 500 people watched it on TV, and tape was super expensive in those days. So the TV network went, yeah, whatever, and they taped over it with a soap opera.
No, because something like that is, if it's the first thing, they will have it on like a record and it will be somewhere in a museum. So no, they didn't tape over it.
So you think fiction?
I think fiction. No, they didn't tape over it.
Oh, you're off to a bad start, bud, because that is fact. That actually happened.
They make America great again.
So here, yeah, make America great again. But last year for Super Bowl 50, they recovered the footage. Other news stations were there and recorded little bits, and they pieced it all back together and made it colour. And last year, for the first time ever, they showed the Super Bowl one. So
there you go. Something good came out of it.
Super Bowl fact or fiction number 2. This is another really old one, 1971. This is also to do with broadcasts of the Super Bowl. And this year it was NBC were broadcasting the Super Bowl. They had the rights. There was a real overcrowding at the stadium where it was being filmed at. Some of the equipment was knocked over. The broadcast went off. So a high-ranking NBC employee ran out onto the pitch pretending to be a drunk person, disrupted the play while a tech went in and set back up all the broadcast equipment.
I'll go with fact. That sounds like some silly thing American high-paid man might do.
It's actually fiction. But here is the thing: is that is a popular myth of something that happened in Super Bowl history. But it's actually not true. As much of a trick question as they're in there. I'd say it's a difficult game. It's a difficult game. Super Bowl fact or fiction number 3. in 2014 at the Super Bowl. The day before, they have a press day.
Right.
So all it is, different journalists, different people all come in and interview the players, the coaches, everyone Super Bowl affiliated gets interviewed. A man went to this dressed as Wally, as we would say, or Waldo, as they would say in America. And he took an assistant with him. And rather than him go and ask the questions, he sent his assistant. He stood out in the crowd and they go, you know, hi Marshawn Lynch, can you tell us about your favourite thing? And then they come around and they go, and where's Waldo? And then players would have to look out into the crowd and spot Waldo.
Ah, very clever. Fiction. That was fake. They didn't do that.
That was real!
Fuck off. I can swear on this, can't I?
Yeah, okay.
Bastard.
The best bit about this one is the guy who did it didn't film it. Just the thing from the interviews and the stuff from the press day, it actually happened.
That's
and
crazy.
this guy who was just a nutter and a troll just showed up. Super Bowl fact or fiction. Number 4. Also in 2014, sticking with that year, good year for Super Bowl things.
Good year.
So now everyone has NFC, and that means like things on your phone for contactless.
Yeah.
Contactless
near
cards.
field communication or something.
Very, very good.
Yeah,
You can have a not Super Bowl fact or fiction point for that. And a German like techno hacker thief guy went to the Super Bowl with a specially designed app on a smartphone, and he walked around the crowd stealing small amounts of money wirelessly from people, and he stole $2.4 million from people in the Super Bowl arena.
Because you can't. Fiction, he didn't do it. There is.
Correct, I made that one up. You got one. 3-1. 3-1. Super Bowl fact or fiction. Number 5. In 1983 at the Super Bowl, we're going back in time a little bit. There was a young up-and-coming player who that year had been sort of the star player for his team for that season. He gets into the final. It's getting towards the end of the game, and he's tackled in like a horrific foul tackle where they go into his knees. He refuses to go off the pitch. Like, he wants to win. He's the star player, so he carries on playing after like the coaches and the medics look at him. He charges to the end zone across the goal line, and as he's getting to the goal line, he gets tackled. He does go over and he touches down the ball. It was the last point scored, so he wins the Super Bowl, but his knee gets re-tackled and he gets really badly injured, has to go off the pitch. After the game, the doctors have looked at him, he has to go to the hospital, surgery done on his knee, which there's a complication with, and he ends up losing his leg from the knee down, ending his professional football career.
Back.
Super
because
cool. Yeah,
I'm going to jump in with that one.
He's in there.
Yeah, like the knee. Yeah, I would say that's a fact. He will go down in the annals of football.
Well, the reason his name hasn't gone down in history is because I made it up and I kind of based it on the Simpsons bit in the Super Bowl where the guy kicks his leg off
and his leg spins through the air and kicks the ball.
Yeah, I totally made that one up. Super Bowl fact or fiction. Number 6. Every year before the Super Bowl, 2 days before, they have like an award ceremony where players get inducted into like the halls of fame. And there's a player called Eugene Robinson.
Never heard of him.
Me neither. I only know Marshawn Lynch. And he gets an outstanding lifetime award for moral, like been a great moral person and been like an upstanding figure. And playing in the Super Bowl 2 days later, and the day between that happening, he gets arrested for assaulting a prostitute. Or a whore, as we call them on Mac Frost Entertainment. Super Bowl fact or fiction.
How could you tell? They're all purple in the face anyway.
Well,
things always pop up just before something big's about to happen. I would say it's true.
Correct. That is right. That is legit. That is real. So yeah, you redeem it for yourself at the end, even though you lose 4-2 because the game's rigged, so you lose. But there you go.
Like an election.
That has been Super Bowl fact or fiction. What we've learnt is American football is bizarre. I'm a pretty good liar, and
I'm not a very good guesser.
You're not a good guesser. You have any final things you want to say to the viewers at home?
Yeah, make the questions easier next time.
That's it.
Watch Super Bowl.
Okay, so that was the Mac Frost Entertainment Super Bowl special. As ever, just thanks very much for watching. If you made it this far, give the video a like. Let me know you made it to the end, and then subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Make sure you give the video a share, show it to all your friends, put it on Facebook, you know, all that good stuff. Really helps me out loads. Apart from that, check out the Super Bowl, 11:30 UK time. I'm going to be watching it, so I'm going to be Snapchatting me watching it. I'm probably making really bad puns about American football, so snap codes here. Add it up. Apart from that, you know, take it easy, enjoy your lives, live your dreams.